Welcome back to Beautiful Mind as we take a look at the 12-month chart of Bitcoin and get a really good breakdown of just what's happening. Now, I've just taken a little time here to catalog a few things here that we didn't go over in the first video. And I just wanted to talk about these things here. Let you take a look at the data as well and see what it's suggesting. So the beginning of Bitcoin here, we were talking about these 3-month fast moves up, which we were seeing quite often. And this one was 1900% and had a total move of 1500%. So the 1900% was the body of the candles. The 5500% is from the bottom of the wick to the top of the wick here. That's a pretty substantial move. So soon after, we had a 5-month move down, which was 93% all the way down to the wick, from the wick. And 11 months and 14 months, we're going to talk about these 11 and 14 months, 14 anyways, and 20 and 27. And you can see that we went down for 11 and 14 months, and then as far out as 20 months before we had a breakout, at the 82% level. Bitcoin being down 82% from the top here. So interesting. All right, so let's go take a look at our next bull campaign. Now, we're going to count this campaign from the breakout basically and include this month here. So again, we have a 3 months, we have a fast move up, and in this time 1800%. Okay, so from the wick here, or the bottom of this candle, to here is 1800%. And then of course a 3-month fast bear campaign ensued. We had a bottom here at the channel, which we talked about in our first video. And then we had another bottom 6 months later, and that was at 72%, and this one at 80. So interesting, these numbers. We have an 80, and our 80 is reoccurring. Our 1900 and our 1900 or 1800, so close enough for me. So the next campaign that took place, 3 months up, but this time only 1300%. Okay, so would have been this one in the channel here, coming right up 2 and 3, boom, top. So 1300%, so a bit of a diminishing, but we had a significant campaign here and a big breakout. So that's a fair and relative percentage move up. I don't know anything else that goes up that quick. Okay, so let's move on here and take a look here. So 14 months down and 84%. Okay, so there's our 14 months down. Just like our first time there. 14 months all the way up here. So that's what we did. We did 14 months, and then we carried on again, and we did 20 months right to our bottom buying area here, 20, 21, 22. And then once we got back into this channel, and revisited this, and we had a little wick down that sort of penetrated a bit. That kind of wrecked a guy a bit. However, we're going to expect these kinds of things in the future, possibly. So, anyways, from here we had a 20-month bottom in this channel and to this breakout right here. And this whole move was 1,300%, as you can see here in my text. That's a pretty good move there. You know, I don't know, it's not much else goes up that much. And again, it's matching this violet move here in percentage, but of course not in duration. So interesting. All right, so after we spent 20 months going up 1,300%, and we had a breakout, we went up for another accumulated 7 months, and that was 1,800% to this top. So again, we're rhyming. We're getting really close. Everything's around the same. We had a 1,800% a couple of times in the past here. So we had 1,900%. We had 1,800%. We had a 13. Plus we had another 1,300. Then of course we had another 1,800 up to here. So that's pretty substantial as far as I'm concerned. I think that's saying, hey, maybe we should pay attention to these numbers. Let's maybe move forward into the future now. Let's just see what maybe will happen. Well, from here we had our 12 to 13 months down, and that was 82%. Again, you remember these numbers now again, 82%. And then we had accumulated 27 months to the pandemic bottom here, and then of course we had an 80% pullback from this top. So again, and look, it just sat perfectly, almost to the dollar, right on that line, pretty much to the dollar. Let's just see, it's pretty much to the dollar, folks. And from there, we moved up, and this time our campaign came up to a breakout area, and we moved up for 13 months to our first top, and then 20 months to our second top. And those two tops consumed 16 and 1,700%. So again, they're rhyming, or we have a reoccurring data. But our first pullback here was quite substantial and short. We only had a 2-month fast move down, and it was 55%. So it indicated a safe place to buy for sure. And it was way above our channel. So sure enough, the asset moved up. But it sure enough got arrested here by our rings and a bunch of other indicators. And of course, we're up at 1,700% from our bottom here, and that's equal to and rhyming to our past campaigns. And now we, as you know from the video that I put out just recently, we're talking about this move down and where we were possibly going to be. And of course, today, after doing that recording within a couple of days here, 24 hours, the Moon Boys and all these organizations and the whales, I can see them all, I'm hearing them all. They're telling you the bottom is in. All these analysts are giving you the 6 reasons why the bottom is in. Sure, it's possible. It is possible. Does that mean we're going to go up to the moon? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. right now the data really isn't suggesting that it is. And we're going to continue to look at why. It really needs to break above this major trend line here, and it's got another parallel trend line here. So we're going to bounce around inside this area here, and my targets are starting inside this box area and down into this box area here and ending up with targets here. So, I've laid it out here in my future forecast levels for Bitcoin, and we'll take a look at that and see what it says. I know this isn't kind of the data maybe everybody wants to hear, but we have to face it. Once we get above this top, or this top here, even just this level, 47,000, this 42,000 level, this is really key. We need to bust above this and sit on it. And then we need to come up challenge, and we need to sit on this. And once we sit on this for several weeks or months, then I believe once we've done that and we haven't violated and gone below or continued on our bear market structure, then I'll be bullish. And of course, once our indicators have flipped over and they've sat in here for a long time and they've crossed over, made a golden cross, and this is peaked up, and this has made a golden cross, and these red bars stop becoming red, they turn blue, get above the median line. So, covered all that in the last tutorial. So let's talk about this. So from this point on, we're going to talk about the first top and the second top, and that is, of course, the first top and the second top. So my possible levels down from this area are indicated at the 70% level at 20K Bitcoin. I know that's kind of low. That's around this area here. We had a lot of confluence here. The 72% level, we saw that as well back further. That's 19,000. So there's a double confluence area of numbers. We also have the 82% level at 12,000. I spoke about that in the previous tutorial. And that's down here. Folks, this level is, where Bitcoin is possibly going to go. That's 82%. I have two more target areas. One we've definitely done. We've definitely gone back to a 93% level. And we're going to talk about that one after. But now next I said an 8,000 Bitcoin. And here's the 88% level. And, an 8,000 Bitcoin, is right down here, right at this line. We were talking about this in the other tutorial. And it's possible that we could possibly see a real dark move, a real deep wick. We'd be fast down to 93% level. And that's right down to 47. And that's right down here. So, is that going to happen? No, not necessarily. None of my numbers may happen. It's possible we flip over and we move up. However, we just have to be ready. Should that happen, then we need to put our trajectory lines, our trend lines, and open up our fib circles and bring a bunch of our indicators in and use our pitchfork and our percentage levels, and we can establish some upward targets, because we know what happens when it moves up. We know it moves up about 17 1,000 to 1,700% or 18 or 1,900%. So we know that from there, we could be looking at some potential targets, which we're going to cover in another tutorial. But for now, until we flip bullish, we're going to discuss what's going to happen because it's possible we're going to continue to see more downward pressure. So let's take a look at some dates. I was saying, 12 to 14 months. So 12 to 15 months would bring us to April and July 22. So, you know, April to, sorry, April to July 22 represents our first top area where we would see a bottom, a potential bottom. Right? Just saying potential. And then 20 months from that is the December period. So we'll move out to December. It's potential bottom period here. And 27 months, that represents July 23 for another possible bottom. And notice that our second top here has a 20 to 27 month period, a 20 month matching our 27 month July. So these two are the same in a correlation. So this one being 27 months away from this one. So it's from this count is kind of unique. Anyways, we can also go, as I was saying, 27 months like the other counts, and we can see as far out as February 24. So where would that take us? So February 24 would take us right out to here. We could certainly see a bottom there. Our trend line, they're still coming down, converging. So we could certainly stay in there and see a bottom and finally take off. And then once from there, our indicators have completely satisfied us. And we've seen a long time underneath and a lot of capitulation, a lot of hurting. And they give us the sign, the golden crosses. This comes above the median line or sits on this for a long time and pulls above. And as well, this sits below its median line for quite a number of months, as indicated from all of these moves down and these moves that are possible down that match our data moving back many, many, many years, all the way to the beginning, to be precise. So once we see all these indicators tell us they're golden crossing and they're moving up, making higher bars, once we see that, then we can be really dedicated buyers. At least that's my opinion. Does that mean that's what will happen? No, it's not necessarily true, but the data has certainly suggested that 3 times in the past 12 years very strongly. So I'm going to pay attention to what the indicators and data points and these percentage levels and these monthly time periods and all the other tools that I have quite eloquently shown you in my time that I've invested into understanding Bitcoin mining, understanding all these things that were brand new to us and brand new to me. And now I'm much more comfortable with these topics, and I'm looking forward to dealing with these beasts. So stay tuned, and I hope you liked the tutorial. I've done all of this for free, hoping that you get a good general idea of what to expect. And yeah, just stay tuned. I'm looking forward to going with you on this journey, you know, step by step, figuring it out and seeing just what we're gonna what we're gonna experience. What are we gonna see? Anyway, I'm wishing you a good night and thank you for joining me on Beautiful Mind.